Naruto Uzumaki. Mixed bag if there ever was one. Ambitious enough to declare he'll be Hokage, yet sometimes too scared to fully share what's on his mind. He's someone who's fiercely vocal about people he cares about, but also oddly dense when the truth is staring him right in the face. Insightful when someone's lying, yet hilariously clueless about things right in front of him. We'll feed Naruto questions just like we'll do to you, to understand his personality. And guess what? He's not just a leader, but someone who creates gaps for us to fill. It's these very gaps that make him interesting, relatable, and unforgettable. Let's be honest, we're not the ones running around chasing nine tails or passing the extra energy that comes with it. That's all Naruto. We're just here trying to make sense of it all. So we asked some questions to understand Naruto's personality better, because who doesn't love dissecting a hero, right? Turns out he's kind of a mixed bag. On one hand, he's the type to forgive quickly, almost too quickly. The guy could forgive a villain mid-battle while still throwing kunai at him. And that's a strength, mostly. But then there's this. Naruto doesn't just bond with people emotionally, he dives right in. But hold on to someone with both hands, even if they've done something, everything to push him away. You'd think being a social outcast growing up would make him hesitant, but nope, he's like an emotional well-grown. And here's the kicker. He doesn't just forgive people who mess up, he feels bad for them too. You hurt someone, you lose everything, Naruto will find a way to be sad for you, even when it's your own fault. And honestly, that's what makes him kind of stupid sometimes. But that also makes him Naruto. Here's what we found. Naruto scores oxytocin off the charts. Bonding, trusting, connecting, this is his playground. If you're not his friend yet, give it 5 minutes. Testosterone, very high. Confidence, ambition, and a whole lot of I'm gonna be Hokage someday energy, no surprise there. Dopamine, high. He thrives on challenges, rewards. The feeling of winning over someone emotionally or otherwise. Serotonin, medium. He's optimistic, sure, but he's not immune to those dips. Especially when the bonds he cherishes feel fragile. Cortisol, low, moderate. Physical stress, he'll outlast you. Emotional stress, yeah, he struggles, but let's not forget, it's what makes him relatable. So, what do we get from all of this? Naruto's kind of a biter willing to taste better things. He'll take the hard road, empathize, forgive, and then feel sad when you mess up. Because that's who he is. Don't mistake that kindness for sharp judgment. Sometimes he's too forgiving. Now, would I call that a perfect personality? No, but it's the one that sticks. And really, isn't that the point? Can't we have a little forgiveness going around, rather than someone who's all just and rigid? Now then, not everyone gets Naruto for the right first time, and that's fair. You didn't grow up with him, plastered across your screen or tucked in the pages of your manga. You might think he's just another loud, brash, overconfident hero. That's only the surface, and the surface cracks when you look closely enough. You see, Naruto didn't start as someone you'd admire. He was a troublemaker, chasing attention, because no one would give him the time of day. Orphaned, shunned, and carrying a burden he didn't even understand. Nine-tailed fox that made him village outcast. He hid his fate behind his big dreams. I'll be Hokage, he'd say. And yeah, it sounded like a kid throwing a trending to be noticed. But as you follow his journey, you realize something. Naruto wasn't just fighting for himself, he was fighting to be seen. And that's the fight. And it's that fight, raw, flawed, and painfully human, that turns him into something worth listening to. So, what are the insights Naruto would leave us with if he were sitting with me today? Let's break it down. People learned their mistakes. Naruto forgave those who hurt him deeply, because he believed everyone deserved a second glance at their life, to be heard and understood. That's what Naruto wasn't, so of course he'd understand. Pain, for example, the biggest villain in his life, and he had a very different philosophy from Naruto. And perhaps the biggest character development that Naruto had with Nagato, who probably not just sharing the same last name, but also shared the same vision at one point. Strength doesn't mean being unbreakable, it means getting back up. Every time Naruto fell, he rose stronger. Not because he was invincible, because he refused to stay down. You don't need the world to understand you just need one person to believe in you. For Naruto, the belief started with Iruka, and grew with every bond he formed. Hinata was the other one who believed in him, and it's a lesson we often forget. Connection isn't about quantity, it's about depth. If you're someone who hasn't discovered Naruto in your feed yet, or if you've misunderstood him, here's my suggestion. Start where he started, at the bottom, watch him rise. Not perfectly, but beautifully. Because Naruto's journey isn't about being the strongest or the smartest. It's about becoming someone worth following, and maybe in the process, it'll help reflect on your own. But, let's first discuss the key influences in his life in a lot more detail. This is as if he was here, and he was explaining exactly how he would see it. We'll try and get as close as possible. Naruto's bond with Iruka wasn't just his first real connection, it was his anchor. Iruka didn't see the nine-tailed fox. He saw Naruto, a kid who just wanted to belong. And for Naruto, that wasn't his encouragement, it was his permission to dream. Iruka was the foundation of his belief that he could be more. Without him, Naruto would have stayed a loud kid no one noticed. Well, maybe still loud, but a lot lonelier. He would have never said the word Hokage. Jiraiya, the mentor who showed him the world. Jiraiya brought the big picture. He wasn't just a teacher. He was the person Naruto resonated with the most. I mean, they're kind of the carbon copies of each other, just differences in age and circumstances. But Naruto didn't just learn how to fight or control chakra. He learned that strength is useless if it doesn't protect what you love. Remember Naruto and Jiraiya's conversation? And also, Jiraiya taught him how to flirt. Badly. Let's just say Naruto probably shouldn't have taken those lessons to heart. You know, Ero Senin. No shit, he calls him Ero Senin. And then, a great transition is Nagato. Naruto's fight with him, it was ideological. Pain forced Naruto to face the cycle of hatred head-on. He could have chosen revenge, anger, or even indifference, but he didn't. He chose understanding. It's this particular moment from Jiraiya, Nagato, and Naruto that is very, very central to what Naruto became. It was this moment where he tried choosing to break the cycle. It's this moment that made him say enough hate to Obito, who in some ways is the same person as Naruto, which turned Naruto from a weak kid who wanted to get attention to a person who is capable of leading, and that is someone who's worth understanding. He saw the worth in understanding people beyond, because he knows what it's like to not be understood. And that's what made him the Hokage. Pain taught him the enemies don't just reveal your weaknesses, they reveal who you are as well. And then, of course, his most treasured potential is his bond with Kurama. Most people, the tailed beasts were just monsters, symbols of destruction. For Naruto, they were misunderstood, just like him. Over time, he didn't just learn to control Kurama, he learned to befriend him. That's Naruto for you, turning a literal demon into a drinking buddy. Who else could pull that off? And then there's the eternal rival Naruto! Sasuke! Naruto! Sasuke! Naruto! Sasuke! Naruto! Sasuke! This is a bromance that will be gone in the... Yes, this is a bromance for the history books. This competition wasn't just about who's going to be stronger. It was about who could drag out the other's darkness first. Naruto refused to give up on Sasuke no matter how many times he was betrayed. And honestly, that stubbornness is what makes him a hero, and Well, kind of a stupid guy. Or an idiot. That reminds me of Dostoevsky the Idiot. So when you look at it, Naruto's life is a constant reflection of those relationships. Iruka gave him hope, Jiraiya gave him purpose, Pain gave him perspective, Pale Beast gave him trust, and Sasuke gave him a lot of headaches. But that's Naruto, always chasing the impossible, whether it's peace, friendship, or brooding Uchiha who clearly doesn't text back. If we were him, we'd probably just block Sasuke and move on. But hey, we're not Naruto. And thank God for that. Some of us just don't have the energy to chase down a rival across dimensions and still wake up saying, "Believe it!" every morning. So, we're done with the second part of it. Let's do the third one, where if we were to look at his feed and give him solid recommendations of what his week would be like scrolling, here's what we'd come up with. We structured Naruto's feed from self-curated taste to on one end, to gaps that need explaining. On the other hand, this helps him grow while still respecting what energizes him. High-energy emotional tracks like Bluebird or We Are Fighting Dreamers, uplifting J-pop or motivational soundtracks with clear, inspiring lyrics. These fit his upbeat, action-oriented personality and reflecting his belief in perseverance. Gaps to be opened. Instrumental or abstract music like ambient or electronica jazz. These genres might feel aimless to him at first, but explaining how it would reflect his freedom, improvisation, or layered emotions could make him appreciate their subtleties. Storytelling-focused pieces like the classic art manga One Piece, or the bold symbolic pieces like The Scream. He resonated with the works that wear their emotions on their sleeves, because he was the one who wore it on their sleeve and said Hokage. Minimalist or abstract art like Rothko or geometric modernism. Without an obvious story, he might dismiss them, framing them as emotion and simplicity or as metaphors for control versus chaos that could intrigue him. He'd probably have a lot of TV show things that he'd want to watch. He'd probably want to watch My Hero Academia or Demon Slayer. He'd resonate with them a lot, especially Deku, who's super not privileged like him, and Demon Slayer, who had his entire family ripped apart, exactly like Naruto, and Avatar's Last Airbender, having given a gift to lead, also resonating with Naruto. He'd blend this emotional backstory with a lot of action and camaraderie in between, and there you go. He has a show cut out for him. Naruto's self is driven in bold, emotional, action-driven media. Anything that immediately resonates is perseverance and redemption. His gaps require context, patience, something along the lines of being a better leader, understanding how systems operate, that are more abstract, but I think Naruto would do well here. So, Naruto's feed is half motivational speeches, half crash course of what does this mean. Honestly, if we snuck a Rothko in there and we captioned it like, "Believe it," he might actually give it a shot, or ask Aerosmith Sensei for our translation. In closing, if we only looked at our feeds a lot more closely, we'd go into it knowing what we want. Of course, there's the off chance of discovering something you didn't know that you would want, but that requires still a base of what we know we want as precisely as possible. I'd love to have guests on this show who could do it for you, and I hope this series works, because no, I'm not hoping, I'm sure it was gonna work. It'll morph into something or the other, but it's gonna work. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.